Back to the verdict. Mick Cornett with Kent Myers, and Kent's going to introduce today's guest.
Today, we're really pleased to have on for the first time somebody we've wanted on for a long time, Senator Randy Brogdon, for a state senator from District 34, the Tulsa-Owasso area. He was born in Ardmore, raised in Tulsa, now lives in Owasso with his wife and family. He was elected to the state senate in 2002. He's the author, among other things, of the 10th Amendment resolution that we're going to talk to him a little bit about today, along with tort reform and a lot of other things that are going on out at the Capitol. And he's the first senator in 20 years to receive a 100% mark on Conservative Vote Index. It measures the conservativeness of the votes of the members of the legislature, and the first senator in 20 years to receive a 100% mark in this last session. And thank you for coming down from Tulsa to be with us.
I appreciate the invitation to be with you, and Mayor, pleasure to be with you as well.
Great. Hey, give us an update on the what's going on at the state capitol in relation to tort reform for 2009.
There are several pieces of legislation that are still moving through the process, and House Bill 1603 is the comprehensive tort bill that I think probably will be the final vehicle. In that bill, it's going to be similar to what we've seen in the past. It'll have joint and several liability, which is a big problem in the state of Oklahoma. You know, we're talking about, I know that you're an attorney, but there's actually talk about putting caps on attorneys' fees. I don't know where that's going to wind up. Venue shopping is a problem, so I think that's going to be addressed. And even the overall lawsuit reform when it comes to the class action, I think that will be a part of that bill as well. So the comprehensive bill obviously starts out with a lot of different aspects, and how it winds up on the governor's desk is still up for grabs.
We have seen this evolve, though, through Governor Henry's administration. And what's your view on, there's a lot of noise and a lot of talk, and we hear the governor say things, and we hear the legislative branch say things, and there seems to have been some progress for those who would like tort reform. Where are we now, and where do you think we're headed here in the final years of the Henry administration?
Well, you know, Governor Henry has told us ever since 2004 that he wants what he described as Texas-style tort reform. We have put that on his desk at 2 different times, but there are some things that he does not like about the bill, and it's the caps, number one, on attorney's fees, and also, I believe, on the caps on pain and suffering. He has a difference of opinion on that as well. But there are things that the Governor Henry has, I think, made clear over the years that he can support. I believe he's fine with joint and several. I think he's fine with venue shopping and with class action reform. You know, one of the biggest problems that we have in the class action reform, I believe, something that would actually fix the problem, would be to have an opt-in rather than an opt-out. And that would, I think, have a drastic effect on maybe attorneys that would normally take something that may have, take a case that has 100,000 people that have automatically been a part of that class action lawsuit. It'd make a difference if there was only a half a dozen or so that were actually harmed by that class action. So, you know, coming from a business background, I am not an attorney, but I do know some of the things that have been a negative effect on my business. I know that they must have the same negative effects on small businesses around the state. So I think we're going to pass a comprehensive lawsuit bill again this year, and hopefully it will be one that the governor will sign, because he has given overtures over the last several years that he does want to sign a comprehensive tort reform bill.
On the one hand, it seems as though there's a pretty strong sentiment for capping attorneys' fees. There's a pretty strong sentiment for perhaps capping pain and suffering, or non-economic damages, right, however you refer to it. But there's also a strong sentiment to make sure that we don't do something that closes off access to the courts to the citizens. They have reasonable access to the courts, even though we may wind it down a little bit in other areas. Does your bill address that?
Well, certainly,
or does the House bill? Excuse me.
Well, yeah, it is a House bill, House Bill 1603 again. Right. And I've not seen the final product yet. Obviously, okay, It's just now coming over. We are this week taking the House bills into our committee work. So I would suspect that is in there, and I believe that probably will be a huge part of the discussion. There is overwhelming polling data where the citizens around the state do support those caps. So I think it's probably going to be part of the discussion. Who knows at this point if it's going to be a final part of the bill.
We had Senator Coffey on several weeks ago, and he suggested that at least it was a possibility. He didn't want to foreclose any legislative efforts with the governor's approval, but there was a possibility it might be a movement to circulate or to have a House Joint Senate resolution to put it on the ballot for the people to vote on. Do you hear anything about that?
Well, yeah, I've heard that that is a real possibility this year because, again, the polling has shown us that the people do want the caps, and that may be a standalone item of an initiative petition. So that I think that is a real possibility this year. You know, but the economic, we don't want to put caps on that. I don't think we've ever suggested that, and I don't think the governor is for that either. So I don't believe that's going to be part of it.
One thing I wish you'd tell our viewers about, since this is your first visit, and I didn't really say much about it in your introduction, I probably should have. You're a small businessman.
Yes.
You've had your small business in operation for 20 some odd years, I think.
Over 30 years.
I'm sorry, over 30 years. Tell us a little bit about what your experiences have been in Oklahoma as a small business person.
Well, I've got a great Oklahoma success story. I loaned my dad $500 and my 1963 Chevrolet when I was a senior in high school so my dad could start our air conditioning company, and that's the way we got started. For the next 17 years after that, Dad and I served together as partners in a very thriving business, and we built that from zero to just a tremendous company. We've hired scores of people throughout the years, you know, and I tell you, I have paid those high workman's comp bills throughout those years. Luckily, I've never been sued in my business or personally otherwise, so I've not personally experienced a tort problem in my company, but I do recognize that we have a huge problem in our workman's comp system, and so I don't even think we're addressing that this year. There may be a bill coming from the House. I don't think we passed one off the Senate, but my business background has been very solid. It has provided me a lot of my background for how I make decisions in the state legislature, and I'm extremely excited to have had this opportunity over the years to operate my own company right here in the state of Oklahoma.
Are we headed toward a vote of the people?
On the tort, I think, again, that's going to be a real possibility. If we can get a comprehensive tort bill on the governor's desk and the governor signs it, there would not be a reason for that. If we can't, I believe there probably will be a very distinct possibility, if not a probability, that there would be something on the ballot next year.
And you say next year, you're talking about 2010?
2010, yes.
In the November ballot?
I would imagine that's when it would be.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I presume if it was favorably received by the voters, it would become effective immediately thereafter.
Yes, and of course, if it goes to a vote of the people, that is a constitutional amendment. So hopefully we can take care of it in the state legislature.
Well, are there examples of other states that have gone this route to get tort reform passed?
You know, I don't know if any other states have actually had a tort bill passed by the people. Not all states even have the opportunity to petition their government through the initiative process. We have that available to us in Oklahoma, and it's been used quite a few times throughout the years when the state legislature fails to do the job that the people around the state are asking for. So that's a possibility.
I'm going to jump in and get us to a break. We're visiting with State Senator Randy Brogdon. We'll have more on the verdict right after this.